Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee is one of the tools that William Samoei Ruto is using as a divide and rule tactic to make sure that he dissolves DCP support in the mountain. William Samoei Ruto knows so much that Rigathi Gachagua was not a fool in politics, but rather a good student who was really studying from his master. Now, we have seen recently one of the ways that William Samoei Ruto is using to make sure he neutralizes the support of DCP in the mountain region. What do I mean? In the by-elections that are upcoming, we saw DCP giving certificates to the candidates who are going to vie for the various positions. But as we speak, some of them have ditched the DCP party and now joined other parties or even decided to run as independent candidates. It is one thing consolidating your supporter, mobilizing your supporters, and also maintaining them. But remember, those are just but the supporters, the voters. Now, we have the specific persons who presumably these supporters are supposed to vote for them. Now that William Samoei Ruto has realized them, changing the minds of these supporters is kind of difficult. And their support is so porous and the mountain has become so slippery for him. Then he has to come with other tactics like making sure that he pays the candidates off and last minute they withdraw, giving them no time to find a replacement. Because the same thing that William Samoei Ruto is doing in terms of controlling the parliament, because he has the majority even now as we speak about the broad-based government. Every bill that they want to pass will be passed because they have the parliament support. So William Ruto knows so well, if DCP gets more members of parliament, both in the county and national assembly, they will be able to control the government. It will not matter whether Rigathi Gachagua is elected as a president or not. Let us go back to the Uhuru Kenyatta's factor, the Jubilee. Remember, at first, people were really wondering, why is Fred Matiang'i not forming a party? Why is Fred Matiang'i not declaring his stand? He knew so well that they will relaunch the Jubilee Party and he will be the flag bearer as a presidential candidate for the Jubilee Party. But all we know, Jubilee's influence in the mountain region has so far faded away. It wouldn't have so much impact, but the little impact it will have will be costly to Rigathi Gachagua's DCP. Therefore, the games that you are seeing Uhuru Kenyatta trying to play by blaming the current regime of scrapping off the projects that he had begun during his tenure, those are just but games. Remember, in politics, we don't have permanent enemies, we don't have permanent friends. Are we together in this? Now, there is this sympathy call that Uhuru Kenyatta is going to use for his advantage. How? The people in the mountain already know. We never listened to our son Uhuru Kenyatta during the last campaigns when he told us if we elect William Samoei Ruto, we are going to be in for a rude shock. And true to his words, people are regretting and lamenting electing William Samoei Ruto. Now, he's going to say, Fred Matiang'i is our choice. And you see how dangerous that is. The people will say, now, this time we have to listen to our son. And when they do that, they'll be forgetting that the minister in charge of Interior was Fred Matiang'i in Uhuru's regime. And that is when There were rampant killings of River Ayala. Demonstrations barely happened. Remember the opposition, the way they were tear gassed. The police brutality that was witnessed during Matiang'i's tenure as CS for Interior. Unless you're suffering myopia, like you cannot focus so far, or you are suffering what you call collective amnesia, such that you forget so fast about the past, then it's only then that you'll vote for Fred Matiang'i. Yes, that is what I have against him, because remember, we haven't forgotten about the MPs who voted for the Finance Bill 2024 that led to our brothers, our sisters being brutally handled by the police. State-sanctioned abductions, extrajudicial killings happened. And this is the president that we are saying at Kubi Bila break? No, that can never be me. And these are the same people who want to come in the ballot so that we vote for them? No, that can never be me. With the announcement of the beginning of voter registration on 29th of September, youths, Gen Zs, let us take this advantage and tell them that we remember. We need to do away with the old guard. Back to my point. So that is how Jubilee is going to be used to make sure that they scatter the votes of the mountain. Because this is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Raila Amolo Odinga, and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They have an agenda. They have an agreement that they have to fulfill, and that will not be done if Ruto is not re-elected. Forget about the games that ODM are telling you, we are just supporting UDI up to 2027. Whatever government will be elected will be part of the government. You're not going into opposition. Those are just but games. They know what they are doing. Therefore, Rigathi Gachagua should come up with a plan. Maybe if he gets to ask me, I will tell him not to field one candidate. Yes, of course, they'll have just one who will be running under DCP, but let them also field other independent ones. Just in case they are able to be bought, they relinquish their support to one of the independent candidates that they have fielded. Integrity is something that is innate, and it is also a decision you make. Imagine Ruto can go to an extent of even using public coffers, running them dry, just to bribe any member of the opposition who wants to vie for a certain position, just to buy them off to leave that offer for their UDA candidate or any party that is supporting the government of the day. That is how desperate William Samoei Ruto knows, because they know if they scatter the votes, then from the regions that they have support, they will walk through to the presidency. That is my take. And that is what I'm telling you is going to happen. So unless we become so vigilant, and by the way, youth, the time we were occupying parliament, occupying state house, this is the time to occupy the leadership positions. Therefore, I call upon you to go for these seats, vie as an MCA, go vie as a member of parliament, go vie as a senator, go vie as a women representative, as a governor, as a president. We have the votes, we have the say, and change is coming. Only those who are so myopic are not able to see it, but change is on the way. I don't know what's your take on this. Kindly give me your thought in the comment section below. If you love content of this nature and you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the unscripted talks here in Dub Radio. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dub Radio ndio mpango mzima.